Hello, this is Peter Davison, and you're listening to Mark 42.
Welcome to Mark 42's universe here on SUBSPACE Radio, the Geekcast Radio Network, Florida Geek Scene, and all around the interweb thingy, including mark42.com. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten, and with me today are...
Oh, sorry, I was underwater. Eduardo M. Freyre.
You should stay there for the entire show.
You shush! You shush!
Okay, who else do we have?
Vicky Jakubowski.
Hi,
and I'm
Vicky.
not underwater.
You're not underwater, but yeah. But
I'm
you smell
protected by the
gas?
TARDIS, thank you very
Oh.
No, not anymore. It's all gone.
Okay.
It's too early for the jokes.
Okay. Yeah, we're doing this early today. We also have...
on Quiros, and ask me in 100 years and I'll see if my house is underwater or not, but we'll see.
Oh, it will happen. It will happen. I'm thinking South Florida by 2045. It's my bet. We're taking bets here. 2045, we're underwater. Speaking of underwater, I mean, that's what Ed was doing today for the first, well, no, we've done it recently. We are talking Doctor Who. Yeah, it was our 10th anniversary of Mark Who 42 about 3 weeks ago, and we started off as a Doctor Who podcast. So now I think we should have a Doctor Who show. We should have had one then, but we have one now. The topic today is the Easter special, which was on a week ago, called Legend of the Sea Devils. Legend of the Sea Devils. I just want to give everyone a little background in terms of ratings and how popular this was. There were 2.2 million viewers on the day in England, which, and here's the bad news, was 11th place on Easter Sunday. So it must have been even lower throughout the week. It was at least 1 million less than Flux's last episode with 3.21 million. Episode 1 had 4.43 million, so there's a 50% drop between Flux and this. It's the worst ratings in modern Who. Evil of the Daleks, which was the New Year's special, was previously the lowest rated show with 3.4 million. So we're going downhill, folks. Doctor Who was pitched against Britain's Got Talent on ITV1, which won with 5.2 million. So just off the back, this show was not well received, or at least not well watched. I have to admit, I kind of didn't like it. I'm just saying, that's my opinion, but we have other people on the show who may have other opinions. I'm hoping they do. And let's start off with Vicky. Vicky, you are running the show. Tell us what you think.
Well, okay. I actually enjoyed it on several levels. Did I think it was the best of Doctor Who? No.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand some of the complaints that I've heard.
Yeah.
I won't say it's the worst Doctor Who episode.
No, it wasn't
ever,
the worst. It wasn't the worst.
And ironically, and I wonder how many of you guys, I haven't watched some of the old ones in a couple of years, and I forgot who the Sea Devils were. But I think we only saw them twice before.
Yes, the Sea Devils.
If I'm correct. Yeah,
Sea Devils and Warriors of the Deep. And Warriors of the Deep was not well received back in the Davison era.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because, well, okay, I'm going to be honest. I went and tried to watch what I could between YouTube and some of my British streaming services. And I will say that the costumes are much better now.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Totally. I'm not saying this was the worst episode. They did some really nice things.
Yes. Well, I'm interested because so when I did some research and realized that the Sea Devils had a little bit more of a life in the comics and some of the other non live action versions of Who, I wanted to ask my comic book guru, Eduardo, what did you think? And did you read any of the comic versions of these guys?
I actually have not read any of the comic versions. I will say this: my comic knowledge is a little not as extensive when it comes to the other side of the pond. But as far as this episode is concerned, yeah, it wasn't. I didn't hate it. But yeah, I kind of feel the same, almost the same way as I did with Resolution of the Daleks.
Yeah.
In that, if this had been just like a regular episode of Doctor Who, it would have been, it would have been fine. It's just that this being one of 3 specials we're getting this year, it's like, oh yeah, it's an Easter special, and it's like, okay. I mean, it's cool seeing the Sea Devils back. I did when I still had the DVD subscriptions from Netflix. I rented the Sea Devils, and I enjoyed it. Although whoever did the soundtrack to it and did the incidental music, I hate you. I hate you because that is sonic nightmare.
Yeah, and I wanted to point out, I was going to say the same thing. It felt like an episode, not a special. If it was, like you said, if it was in the middle of a season, it could have worked. And here's another thing. It's the Easter special, yet the length is a regular episode. It wasn't a special. It felt like maybe it should have been in Flux if Flux was longer, and it would have been a subplot, one of those things in there. It could have fit in there. But as a special...
Well, yeah, it just, I think they called it a special because Chibnall was like, dude, I only want to do this 3 times this year. So can we just call them Can we just call them specials and get it over with? Like, I don't feel like doing a full season.
Well, we need to get Zion's initial impact.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Zion. What do you think, hon?
You are being graded. Okay.
It was bad.
Oh, you didn't like it either?
I never liked the Sea Devils, so I'm kind of blocked by the nostalgia of them coming back. Because Warriors for the Deep it's still in my mind that the paint was still drying when they filmed that episode, and that's insane. But this
nice one.
This is just like, it's a whole hour of nothing.
Yeah.
It's like what, Star Trek 5? Like
what does a god need a starship for?
With a ship. Nothing. It's just there.
Can I just say, Zion, because you might not know this because you haven't watched it. Did you know that Sea Devils never jumped like that and never teleported in mist? These were new things that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And
hey, wait. Are you saying
they didn't have the technology back then, honey?
Wait, are you saying that Chibnall decided to just make something up? Are you saying that Chibnall just decided, okay, for whatever reason, I'm not going to explain it. I'm going to have the Sea Devils do mist teleportation because you know what? It's my show right now, and they're going to mist teleport.
Yeah.
Wow, are you telling me that,
Eduardo, you bring up a good point. I mean, I felt my biggest single complaint about it was that I felt like part of the story was missing. Like, maybe it was supposed to be an hour and a half and something happened and they couldn't keep filming because, it's like, well, why this? Why that? I feel like we skipped a scene. I actually had to rewind it the first time I watched it, and I rewatched it this morning. And I felt like there was a scene that was cut somewhere that made it feel more disjointed because I could enjoy it because I love a good pirate.
Right.
And but it felt so much like they were on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. And it just, they were phoning it in, which was such a shame because there was these good bits in there, But I really do feel like part of the script was, okay, we don't have time for that. Nope, we're going to rip out this section, because it would have explained some things better, you know, that I feel was terribly missing from this, that it's like we got half the story.
Right.
And
I feel like it's something like the Space Museum, where, okay, we have a very good first quarter. Okay, we're in now. And then it's like, now what? And like, we have no clue. Because the first episode of Space Museum is, I think one of the best first episodes of all of Doctor Who history. And this started off pretty decent. So, a space sea devil coming in, killing the entire crew. The entire village, because this lady decided to do something stupid.
Because of course, whenever you have anything with like an ancient treasure or something like that, and you know, there's always the warning, do not open this, for there will be dire peril. But of course, there's somebody who's just like, I want to open it. Yeah, well, what about the dire peril? I'm going to open it. Well, what about the dire peril? No, I'm going to open it. Oh no, there's dire peril. What did we tell you?
Yeah. Ying-Wai did not work hard enough to stop her. Just saying.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. Maybe it was a Sunday when it happened, and it's like, you know, it's the weekend. Yeah. It's the weekend. You're tired, and it's like, you know, you just. I mean, I'm sure maybe there's a deleted scene where he's just like, "Lady, we partied last night. I'm freaking hungover. Can you just like not? Okay? Can you just not? I'm just not feeling it today." like, come on, seriously. All right, I haven't had my hangover cure. You know, I'm just like, no, okay, not today. Seriously.
Well, I will have to say that I enjoyed some of the humor in this episode. Sometimes it got a little goofy. I actually, one of the reviews I read referred to it as Scooby-Doo style. But yeah. I don't know. I found myself laughing and giggling a few times, maybe inappropriately. I'm not sure. Yeah. But it was funny, and I didn't miss that humor. You know, I felt like we got a little bit of that in our Daleks, but you know, we needed more humor after the flux.
Wait, Doctor Who's allowed to be humorous? Yeah. What?
Damn straight.
What?
Is Yaz so bored on the TARDIS she has fun tricking Dan into wearing inappropriate costumes?
I immediately thought about myself and my siblings, and yes, I would have done that to my siblings. Because I mean, come on, he comes out in basically a Disney-esque pirate costume.
Yep.
That you would see someone walking around working at the Pirates. See, we're back to the Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's why I brought it up. That's why I brought it up there. It segued.
I mean, it was funny, although after a while, him dressed that way got a little old. And it would have been like, couldn't he have gone and changed, or maybe put something over it, or taken one of the 16 pieces off? I'm just saying.
He took the hook off, right? I'm assuming. I wasn't paying that much attention.
I want to say, yeah, I think he did.
Okay, I don't remember seeing it later, so I think you were correct.
Okay.
But
so we did remove something.
We did remove something, yes. Okay. Well, I have to say that I actually liked Dan in this episode. He was cheeky. He was funny. He was him. And I'm going to kick myself for saying this, but Yaz was kind of boring.
Yeah.
She started off as a character so strong.
Yeah.
And I feel like she has less and less to do during this last season.
Yeah, I think in the second half of the show, we should talk more about Yaz. Let's leave it for there.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely she wasn't finding, it didn't look like she was having fun.
No.
She was like depressed all the time. And maybe the reason is what we're going to talk about at the end. So did you guys think that Madame Ching, when she was explaining why the ship had no crew and it was her sons were also kidnapped, wouldn't it have been nice to see the sons to make it more personal instead of just expedition?
Yes.
Expedition. I think it's no.
Exposition.
I think that's the right word.
Exposition.
Exposition. I know. I was thinking about it. They were on an expedition to get the keystone.
No.
I know I got it wrong. I said the wrong word. I admit it.
Yeah, and stop trying to fix it. Just stop trying to fix it.
It's my show. I can do whatever I want.
Children. I think Zion was actually going to say something before you two got all childish.
Okay, so I was well, I was going to think about saying something, but I wasn't going to say it. But each way, the thing is like see, it's like now you guys made me lose my train of thought. That's insane.
Okay,
see, children, you must behave.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I heard that we should behave. I just don't like listening.
I'll behave.
When they introduce us and she says her name is Madame Ching, and the doctor goes, "Oh my God, it's you!" And that's one of those parts where I was like, "And." Oh, okay. So clearly there's a connection, and it's like, am I forgetting an episode from the past?
The doctor name drops. The doctor always name drops.
That is true.
Done that from the beginning.
Well, but here's the thing, because we're talking about a show that started off as like somewhat educational. If we're supposed to, if the doctor, upon meeting Madame Ching, is supposed to be like, "Oh wow, cool, you." It's like, okay, here's the thing, because we are not all the doctor.
Right.
Okay. You need, it's like, it's like, Vicky, if you and I were at a comic convention and we saw like a really cool comic writer, and then Trish is with us. Trish doesn't know who this writer is.
Yeah.
You and I, instead of just simply geeking out and going, "Oh, look, it's this person,"
we give the 2-second explanation.
Right. We're like, Trish, this is so and so. He wrote Moon Knight, or Trish, this is so and so. He's the one who created the female Thor.
Yeah.
It's you know what I'm saying? It's like there's none of that.
And Doctor has done that.
Yeah. Now, wait a minute, hold on a second. So you're saying like this is not acceptable, but like the Unquiet Dead, when he meets Charles Dickens and like, "Oh, I'm your biggest fan," because everyone knows who Charles Dickens is, it was fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because and here's the thing, because no offense. And
he's not saying he met Charles before. He's just saying, "Dickens, I love your work."
But she didn't say that she knew Madame Ching before. She never said that she met her before. It was kind of a fan thing again. Yeah, but again, but it's also the thing of like, and this is, and no shade to our Asian listeners, more people know who Dickens is than Madame Ching. Well, right, that's what I was. Yes, okay. So it's like in some cases, and even with Dickens, you could even throw in something like Charles Dickens, the famous author. Like. You could even throw that in just in case you have somebody who doesn't know, and it's just a quick 2 words. Again,
we've got a connection with Pirates of the Caribbean.
To jump back to what Mark said, like this whole thing about them bringing up her kids felt like just a throwaway line. Like when she was explaining it, we just got her like 3 sentences of it, and then immediately right after jump right back into the action. We get no time to digest or even get a little feel of the emotion between them. It's just, here you go, this is why you should care, and back to the Sea Devils. Yeah, you know what? That actually, Zion, it's great that you bring that up, because I feel like the kid thing was thrown in to give Madame Chang like some sympathy points. Yeah. Because up until then, she's just like, treasure hunting and just being like, I don't care if there's a curse attached to it, sanity be damned, I'm going to do this. So now this is like, oh, okay, there's a reason why she did it. And it's like, and it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, no, I don't, why am I supposed, why, it's like,
it's and then of course having her for some reason be all like, oh, I want to take this kid and make him a part of my crew.
No,
Right.
It's like, hey, sorry about your dad. You want to become part of my crew?
No, but
yeah,
why?
He was quite happy shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
Why would he want to be part of the crew in the first place? Like, you indirectly killed my dad and my entire village, so I guess I'm just going to join you now and be happy about it.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't have too many other options. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's like, well, my village is dead, but hey, I get to be with a pirate queen. Yay! Mind you, it's pirate queen, lady pirate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I was just mumbling under my breath. That's all.
Well,
I was being childish again. Yeah.
Wow.
But
well, she was called a pirate leader. They didn't.
No, I thought she said pirate queen. That's what she said.
Yeah,
pirate queen
I think she does in the show, but the
Madame
real
Ching,
character.
Yeah, it's
the real historical person. I mean, I know. Shocker, Doctor Who diverges a little bit, from the history, but I just looked it up because I didn't remember her having kids, and she did. She had 3 sons who were in the pirating business with her for a while.
Well, she mentioned 2 sons during the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
where's the other son? Where's the other son? Hey, I just watched it a few minutes ago.
Well, hey, she mentions 2 sons.
The other son may not have been a pirate.
Or convert. The other thing is perhaps the other son is on the way.
Oh, and you know who I think is the father of the other son?
No, don't say
it. No.
To hug. She really liked to hug, even though she said don't ever do it again. She was smiling.
No. Oh, and you killed it.
Well, now that it's gotten a little creepy.
You killed it, Mark. It's dead now. It's dead.
So how do you guys feel about how the Sea Devils were defeated? Because I think it was a whole bit of hogwash.
Yeah.
Like this guy Ji-hoon comes back from stasis after a couple hundred years. Hey, I'm still alive. Let me sacrifice myself after like 15 seconds of life. Like,
yeah.
Well, it's one of
Well, I mean, he said that it was a different world because it was hundreds and hundreds of years later, and he wouldn't fit in. So I mean, he was making the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, but
and hey, let's it's again, Chibnall's got a Chibnall. It's like, well, may as well have somebody sacrifice themselves. How long has it been since I've done that? Okay. Oh, and hey, Doctor Who has had sacrifices, so let me just have somebody sacrificing. See, I can do the sacrificing.
But if any of the characters were going to self-sacrifice, it had to be Ji-hoon. And no one else could have done it without.
Yeah.
You couldn't let Madame Ching do it because she's a historical character.
But then at that point, the whole thing is that he's there just to die.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You can't have Yin Ki do it because his father just died. So there was no one else. It was nobody else.
You didn't have again. He serves no purpose but to die.
Also to explain what the keystone was.
Yeah.
Also to explain what the keystone was.
Yeah, that was one of those things where again I feel like there was some pages from the script that were taken out to make it the episode length that it was. And I think that's one of the things that shouldn't have been episode length, and it should have not had some of the clear edits that it did, because there should have been more. It was the climax was very anticlimactic. That's where we're going to put that.
Let me just say that we're talking about anticlimactic editing and things. Well, we have to stop here for a commercial break. It segued perfectly there. You're listening to Mark Who 42's Universe's review of Legend of the Sea Devils, and we'll be right back.
We'll be back with more of Mark Who 42's universe.
Hello, geeks and geekettes. I'm Steve Megatron, and if you're looking for a podcast that covers a vast array of geeky topics, then check out Altered Geek. Altered Geek covers superheroes, Star Trek, pop culture, comics, film, television, animation, gaming, tech, and more. So check out Altered Geek and get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks every Friday on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud, Blog Talk Radio, and the Geekcast Radio Network.
You are listening to Mark Who 42's universe.
Welcome back to more of Mark Who 42's universe here on SUBSPACE Radio, Geekcast Radio Network, Florida Geek Scene, and all around the interweb thingy, including our website, markwho42.com. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten. With me today are Zion Quiros, Vicky Jakubowski, and Eduardo M. Freyre. And yes, I went into a different order this time.
You changed the order. Blasphemy.
Yeah, blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
We are talking Doctor Who today. And can I just say that when we started 10 years ago, we started reviewing episodes such as the first episode we reviewed was Asylum of the Daleks, which was Series 7, Episode
Good
1
times.
with Matt Smith and Amy and Rory. I know their names. I'm just not giving them to you. And some of our reviews were negative. And unfortunately, in my opinion, I have to give Legend of the Sea Devils a slightly negative review. But, you know, it's not all bad. And we don't want you going away thinking we're slamming it, because we're not. There were some good things about it, and we're still talking about it. And Vicky, take it away.
Well, I have to say, if I'm going to grade this episode, I'm going to give it a C+, because frankly, it needed some better editing. It needed some better fleshing out, but it wasn't horrible. It was just lacking pieces. So someone over edited this bit. But I wanted to say something. So the first time that we saw the Sea Devils way back in the Third Doctor, you know, we got them thanks to a certain someone called the Master.
Yes.
And I just can't help. I love the character of the Master, but would this have been better if we had a Master with us?
No.
Just your thoughts? Would it have helped? Would it have cut more?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're all going to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
because it would feel too much like throwing it in for good measure.
Yes,
Yeah.
like
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would.
I don't know.
Because
I
actually,
like I needed better explanations.
If you think about it, the Sea Devils has always been a second, like a sidekick. Because in Sea Devils, the Master was the main villain, and the Sea Devils were the sidekicks, the bad villains. In Warriors of the Deep, the Silurians were really in charge, and the Sea Devils were their foot soldiers. So this is the first time that the Sea Devils were actually the main baddies. And I don't know if it works as the main baddies. I just don't. I don't think it did.
Nope.
Well, they need. Well, it's like their motivation was what? You know, we just, you know, we want the flood. It's like
we want the planet, get rid of the apes.
How did the keys?
And it's here's the thing. It's like my thing is that, you know, because we talk about the last time they showed up, which was Warriors of the Deep. So it's funny we should bring that up, because they're with the Silurians, and the Silurians are also, well, we used to own this stuff. Can we take it back? You know, can we revoke your rental agreement?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, in this particular case, if you want to make them if you want to make the Sea Devils a nice like focus, how about giving them some other motivation other than just borrowing from their from their cousins, from their Warriors of the Deep co-stars?
It seems like
give it
all
something
of
else.
them. It seems like all of the Sea Devils and Silurians want the same thing, and that's all they want. They want to take over. They want the Earth back. period, the end. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and it's the type of thing of, again, it's, it's like, okay, we kind of been over this, like, okay, like that's is there another layer to the Silurian, to the Sea Devils, beast?
I think that they failed in that. They're not even two-dimensional, they're one-dimensional, and you're right. They've got this one-track mind, and I get it, but that's more of like the original Doctor Who's, where sometimes the stories could be a little thin, and budgets were clearly really tight one year or another, and but with the reboot, which I realize now the reboot's been on for a while, but
it's no longer New Who, it's Modern Who.
Modern Who, okay. Modern Who, in general, we don't have too many one-track minded characters. I mean, well, I guess maybe we do. I mean, you could say the Daleks are one-track minded, but they get interesting from time to time. The Cybermen.
Time to time, yeah.
From time to time, they decide, oh, well, let's not just exterminate. Let's do something new. Mm-hmm. And the Sea Devils, I'm gonna sound horrible, but they just are not fleshed out.
No.
They look so much better now than they did in 84 or 70, whatever.
72, 70.
I think 72.
72.
Okay. So they look so much better, but the characters are not written really any better than they were, 50 years ago. So it's kind of, I mean, what could they have done to make this better? Come on, can you think of anything that would have made this, other than
made a different
writing?
Episode?
Yes, not use the Sea Devils. Simple case in point. Done.
Or if you're going to use them, come up with better motivation.
Something new.
Maybe have the central Sea Devil bad guy. Like, if you want to do that whole take over the world thing, maybe have it that's what the central bad guy Sea Devil wants to do. And he basically has his minions going along with it. Maybe he's like, hey, the world used to be, the planet is 70% water. It used to be almost 100%. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what we need to go back to. Hey, who's with me? Well, so then it's one person.
Hear from the other Sea Devils? Do any of them have a speaking part?
No,
I'm trying to remember if
I don't think so. I think he was the only one that talked.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like, okay, if you make it that it's this guy's motivation, that this guy has the idea, and he's just kind of he's like, hey, who wants to flood the planet with me? Then it's like, oh, okay, so the one track thing is that's not like that's not everybody.
That's cry to his people that, hey, remember, we used to be powerful and great, and we can be again, but here's how we need to do it. Then you can kind of understand that one. Yes, we've had that storyline in so many movies and books. Everyone who's been downtrodden always wants to come back up. But so I don't know. Do you think? I feel like he was going through the encyclopedia of every creature ever used in Doctor Who and said, "Ooh, we haven't done one of these in 30 years."
We should have brought the sensor rates back. The sensor rates came back.
The Rutans, rather.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. I mean, I do have my list of stuff I want to make a comeback on the TV series. Like, I know Big Finish has used Sutek. And I want to see Sutek make his TV return. Not to mention, and it's like, don't hate me, hot take. I would love to see a return, and I would love to see somebody like really give him, a nice Modern Who update and make it and make the hype match the make everything match the hype. Bring in a Rastan warrior robot.
Ooh.
Yes.
Like, come on, make them. I mean, you had you had the potential there when it made its little appearance in the the Five Doctors. Come on, let's do it.
If you're going to bring back, if you're going to bring back robots, Ed, if you're going to bring back robots, how about the Chumbleys? They did just release Galaxy 4 on Blu-ray, so get the Chumbleys back. I mean, okay, the Rastan Warriors it was kind of cool, but I mean, we didn't learn anything about them, so yeah, it could work. It could work.
Well, then that's the thing. You have a blank canvas you can work with.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I agree. Okay,
you have a nice blank canvas, and think about it this way. Imagine, okay, let me just lay this out for you. Okay. Imagine, okay, the Rastan Warrior robot done with the technology that gave us the T-1000 in Terminator 2.
Ooh, yeah.
Remember how awesome that was. Like, imagine if you have, a Rastan Warrior robot T-1000 style, where it's just this metallic, humanoid shaped form, just moving around like a ballerina assassin. Just kind of moving around, almost liquidy, doing all these leaps and tumbles and just
teleporting.
And teleport, or not, and teleporting. I mean, come on, it's right there. I've given the blueprint.
Ed, did you know that Russell actually listens to our show? You should sell him the idea. Give him the idea.
Well, Russell, hey, if Russell listens to the show, hey, there's the idea. Look, I give it, Russell, this is a freebie. Is your birthday coming up? Happy birthday.
Yeah, like RTD really listens to our show.
Well, hey, look, hey, you never know.
You never know. We've been on
maybe
for a long
you listen,
time.
yeah.
He does.
And then and also you never know, somebody who may know Russell may listen to it and may be like, hey, Russell, look, hey, what, this guy was talking about how we should bring back the Rastan Warrior robot.
Now that you've described it and everything, I totally agree. A CGI Rastan.
And also why? And also, and here's the other thing. And again, why is it called the Rastan Warrior robot? Was it made by somebody named Professor Rastan? Is there a rat? Is there like, hey, is there a company called like the Rastan Weapons Manufacturing Company or something like that? The Rastan,
Russell, you can come up with
Rastan, is there a Rastan Robotics? And do they have this thing where it's like, it's like cookie molds where this stuff just pours in, and you have all these Rastan Warrior robots on an assembly line just getting poured in. See, right there. Look at what. See, right there. We've had some stuff laid out.
So you have now written the best script ever. And
there you go.
And you're selling it. You're giving it to Russell. You're giving it to him.
You're not selling it. Or you know what? Hey, if Russell, I'm a writer. If you want me to come in, write a draft or write an outline, I will do it. Or hey, if anyone from Big Finish, from Big Finish is listening, hey, I will give it to you too. Titan Comics.
I have a friend who's written for Big Finish, someone I know who I've gone to Passover Seders with. So
okay.
So I'll give it to him and see what he can do.
Or you know what? Or tell him, hey, one of my co-hosts has an idea.
Yeah.
Again, it's seriously,
okay, we're on a tangent. We've completely gone on a tangent.
Because I mean,
it's a fun tangent because suddenly I could picture that, because it could be, I don't know, it could be fun and getting some getting some better backstory on a character and I'll just do something, because I feel like I there's a lot of side characters and one-off, I don't even know if I want to call them villains, but aliens and whatnot that have existed over the last 50 plus years. So couldn't they have, if they were going to do this, they could have done it, frankly, so much better.
Yeah.
And they could have, I don't know, introduce something. I just keep going back to, there was some good writing in there, but I feel like there was just so much missing. Nobody had any motivation. Nobody had any purpose. Even
they tried to give
in the morning to do this has purpose. Good God.
Yeah, and they tried to give purpose by making our pirate queen friend. It's like, oh, I'm doing it because my crew got captured. It's like my crew got captured. My crew got and my kids got captured. It's like, kid. It's like I have kids. Yeah, feel sorry for me. I have captive kids.
For 5 seconds.
I have a question.
And,
okay, here's a question.
Uh-oh.
What the heck was the Keystone supposed to do in terms of the flood? I know that it could transport matter or something, but I don't understand the end. I think that was one of the missing pages.
Yeah, it was a MacGuffin. It was a nice slice of MacGuffin pie. We needed the magic, cosmic, mystical, whatever thingy. Let's just, it's the Keystone. We have to get the Keystone.
So there was actually nothing to it. It was just they needed it. They needed a part to get us to have some suspense. They got it and they took over.
Well, I didn't
get it. They didn't make that clear.
If there was anything to it, they didn't give it to us.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't clear.
It was, it goes back to Vicky. Vicky, I think, has the best point of our entire discussion, which is that, it feels like stuff is missing. So if there's like a better explanation for the Keystone, they didn't give it to us. Instead, it's just here's the episode MacGuffin.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's like we got pirates. They need.
It did.
Yep. We got pirates.
They could have done a pirate episode, albeit they've already done a couple of them throughout the years.
Yeah.
But I like I said, I love the humor, and it could have been almost any other creature, or it could have been a more fleshed out purpose of the Sea Devils. And yeah, as I was rewatching it this morning, it's like, okay, no, I didn't miss a bit somewhere. It just so disjointed. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm starting to get frustrated, because I have all these questions about this episode, and I realize that we don't have the answers.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm going to move it to a C-. So
yeah.
Or maybe just a straight C.
Yeah, you know what? That's my thought on the episode. It's a straight C. And here's the thing, because it feels like, okay, it doesn't feel like a special.
No.
Because I have to ask, what is supposed to be so special about it? The other thing is that, even if we just treat it like an episode, it feels unfinished. Yeah. They're just so many questions, and
and I know they had problems because of COVID, that they had to film it with less people, and but the story the expense of the story job. Right, the expense of the story, it didn't make sense. The story should have been tighter. I think, if we had gone the hour like a normal special was, we could add the stuff that you were talking about, Vicky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was edited out, but I don't know why they edited it out, because it's supposed to be a special. It should have been an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know why they knocked it down to 48 minutes.
There were either edits after the fact, or they were just simply, said, okay, somebody, either the powers that be at BBC or, Chibnall himself, were just like, nah, we'll do a special on Easter, but I just want to do, I just want it to be 45 minutes. I don't want to do a full hour.
Yeah.
And, and then it's one of those things where there's either stuff that we're missing that, we'd get if there's like deleted scenes or something, or it just never existed at all. Yeah. And for whatever reason,
that's quite possible.
Yeah. For whatever reason, it just got thrown out there with this unfinished thing, and somebody somewhere was hoping it's like, hey, pirates, Sea Devils, swashbuckling, yay! And, hoping that nobody, don't ask, just, Enjoy all the buckle and the swashing.
You see, the premise itself, there's nothing wrong with it, is there?
Yeah.
The premise itself could have been so great, and you see glimpses of the positivity, but I just felt like a couple of the characters were one-offs, and then our three main, I mean, I don't know. I just felt like I didn't get enough from my Dr. Yaz and Dave.
Well, and I want to switch in that because we're starting to run out of time for this segment. Let's talk about Yaz and the Doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought it came out forced. I don't think the Doctor's explanation was really it didn't really work.
Yeah.
And I don't know. What do you guys think? I got nothing. I didn't feel it.
You know what? I got to agree, Mark. The conversation between her and Yaz at the end, it just feels forced, and what it feels like is it feels like a forced, kind of a forced way to set up for the next special.
Didn't at the end of Flux, the Doctor was told that she was going to die soon forever?
Yes.
Wouldn't that have been? Yeah. The reason I can't go with you, yes, is because I'm going to die.
Yeah. Or it's like, I think I'm going to die, or I don't know how long this will last.
Yeah.
It's or something. Just I don't know. It's something where it's like like that little scene at the end just felt like, oh, whoa, our next thing is going to be Jodie's final special. Right. Let's throw something in there about that. I wish it could last forever.
Yeah.
So
also, go ahead.
It feels like if you take that out and you just had the three of them jumping into the TARDIS and flying off, it would not have affected the episode itself. The episode itself, the special itself. It just feels tacked on because it's like, okay, we need to lead into the next special. So let's have the Doctor be all kind of mopey because, and especially because, not bringing up what was said at the end of Flux.
Also, the Doctor was saying to Yaz, if there was anybody that she'd go on a date with her was Yaz. And my thoughts go back, what about Rose?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you sent the human Doctor with her, but she was the one you really
well, let's see. We got Rose, we got the Doctor's late wife.
Yeah, well, she did mention the late wife.
The late wife, kind of. We got the late wife, and then a character that I feel it's like this poor person has been kind of thrown under the rug and forgotten. The Doctor was engaged during Aztec times.
Yeah.
The Doctor's just totally forgotten about Kamika? Wow.
What about the Queen of England?
The Queen of England,
what about Marilyn Monroe?
Marilyn Monroe. Okay, yeah, that
all the
too.
ones he mentioned in Christmas Carol.
Yeah, it's like it's the kind of it is the kind of thing where it's like, okay, so I guess what? River's dead in a computer. Marilyn Monroe is in the 60s. But hey, so I guess I'll go on a date with Yaz. It's like, okay, so it just kind of feels like, so wait, are you saying that? What are you saying about the past relationships that the Doctor has had, the past connections? It's like, what? I'll even throw in Sarah Jane. Like, what? We're just gonna forget her too.
Yeah. I mean,
although I will say that with Sarah, it is a little bit more of a mentor-student type of thing.
But he gave her K9. That shows love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take K9 any day.
There you go. Don't put a ring on it. Give me K9.
Damn straight.
There you go.
There you go. Anybody who wants to marry Mark, don't give him a ring. Give him a talking robot dog.
Yeah. But I have to say that they've dealt with relationships, sometimes badly, sometimes very well. And I feel like this one, especially because we all know she's going to do something / regenerate in the next episode. It's starting to feel cruel.
Yeah.
And I feel like Yaz, who started off as a very strong character in the beginning, trying to figure out her footing, and it's kind of like any other human, we're trying to figure out who we are, what we're doing. And she had some really good juicy bits. And then as it has gone on, and especially with all these specials this year, I feel like she's become very flat.
Yeah, she's getting weaker.
Yes. And I mean, she's like I'm going to be awful. The whiny ex that you just can't get rid of. And
I'm not commenting.
But I really do think. Well, I'm sorry. I know
whiny ex, or like the relationship you have that's very casual.
Yeah.
But then they're kind of. But then like they start. Then they start in your presence playing that song. If you want, you better put a ring on it. If you want, you better put a ring on it.
That's where I was going with the
making just making
Well, I want to know what Zion thought about Yaz.
Yaz is the same. Like all of this unneeded relationship stuff just got tacked on at the last minute, so it all feels very artificial, almost as artificial as an auton. And
nice one.
And they wrapped it up as quickly as they brought it in, and I hope to see no more of it, even though
we're getting another episode of it. We're getting another episode. All right. Okay, folks, that wraps up our episode on Subspace Radio. But if you are listening to the Mark Who 42's Universe podcast, and on Subspace, we welcome you to search for that. Go to Google or to Google Play, or to Audible, or to iTunes, or any of the other podcast platforms. Type in the Mark Who 42's Universe podcast, and you can get more of this conversation. We're going to keep going there. And we got more to talk about, because this episode, even though it was a short episode, our episode will not be short. We're going to keep going. On behalf of myself, Mark Baumgarten, Eduardo M, Freyre, Vicky Jakubowski, and Zion Quiros, we're going to take off from Subspace, but keep listening if you're on one of the other choices that we gave you, the Mark Who 42's Universe podcast. If you have anything you want to write to us, go to our Facebook page, Mark Who 42 Universe. If you want to send us an email, markwho42s.universe@gmail.com. Go to Apple and iTunes and give us a review. Give us 5 stars. We want 5 stars from you, and then give us a review. We'd love that. If you want to hear old episodes, go to our YouTube channel, Mark Who 42's Universe. But like I said, we're going to say goodbye to Subspace Radio. Everyone else, stick around. We'll be right back.
Well, and remember, dead men tell no tales.
Oh boy, we'll be back.
Dead men tell no tales.
All right, we're going to stop here.
We'll be back with more of Mark Who 42's Universe.
By the power of Grayskull, I command the drawbridge open!
The Powers of Grayskull series will cover every episode of all 4 Masters of the Universe cartoons. Join Optimus Solo and myself, TF2 and Mike, as we tell tales of Eternia, discover the myths of Etheria, become masters in space, and finally Masters of Grayskull. We'll have a commentary on the Secret of the Sword film, and a few other special episodes. You can find this 125-episode-long podcast in iTunes and on the web at geekcastradio.com. By the power and honor of Grayskull, we all have the power.
Hurry, Skeletor, hurry! I am hurrying, I'm hurrying!
Welcome back to the Mark Who 42's Universe podcast. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten. With me today are Eduardo M. Freyre, Vicky Jakubowski, and Zion Quiros. And today, as you know, hopefully you've been listening because you're listening to our extra right now. We've been talking about Doctor Who's Easter special, Legend of the Sea Devils. And I got to tell you something. This is no Easter special from 2009, Planet of the Dead. Sorry, that was good. I love Planet of the Dead.
And even
Lady Christina.
Actually...
Oh, that was great. You have Lady Christina versus Madame Ching. Choose between them, Lady Christina. I'm just saying.
Well, and also, I mean, at least Planet of the Dead, didn't it have at least one little nod to the fact that it was an Easter special? I mean, okay, yeah, it was, the Doctor giving Lady Christina like a little, what was it, like a chocolate orange or something, and going Happy Easter, but
yeah,
at least it was something.
And
at least it wasn't like
he gave her a present. He gave her that bus.
Yep. Does Lady Christina still have that bus?
Yeah, if you listen to Big Finish, I think she
does.
Okay,
yeah, because that's the thing. I haven't had a chance to listen to the Lady Christina Big Finish stuff, so I don't know if she still has the bus.
I think she still has it.
Okay.
I have a question.
You know what we need though? You know what we need though, Mark?
What?
We need Lady Christina. We need a Lady Christina audio where it's her and Iris Wildtime and they race with their two buses.
Yeah,
we need a bus race. We need a bus race.
Oh, no.
Okay.
We need a bus race.
I have a question.
Yo.
Why didn't the fam try to stop Ji-hoon throwing his crew overboard? Why did they just run away? Couldn't they have helped him? I mean, yeah, the changing history, but we've done that before.
Yeah.
This didn't have to be a key point. They never said it was a key point. They just didn't. They saw the Sea Devil there. Oh, I'm scared, and they scuttered away.
I see that, but I raise you this.
Okay.
If the head Sea Devil is in the ship, right? And the entire crew of the Doctor's crew is with the Sea Devil. And we have other Sea Devils on the other floors.
Yeah.
Why aren't they with this single Sea Devil? Because the only reason why this plan was able to go through was because he was by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's by himself and there's other Sea Devils over there, why aren't there more Sea Devils over here?
Well, because there was no one left on the ship. There was no one left on the ship. Yeah.
Well, and plus, and plus, it's like I think they were hanging out with the Sea Devil in his little private chamber with his souvenir stasis pirate. I think everybody has that room in their house where it's like, this is my room. This is my room, and nobody can come in.
Well,
there you go for our head Sea Devil villain. Yeah.
The extra, all the other Sea Devils that were on the boat, they didn't speak. They didn't add to the story. They didn't really do anything other than act as a mindless crew. Did not need to be in there at all. That is actually something they could have edited, and it wouldn't have been horrible.
Yeah, but one Sea Devil in the whole episode wouldn't have made sense because.
Well, if he was a better Sea Devil, a better villain,
I buy that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
He could have. He could have carried it himself because there's been times where we've had a singular bad guy and done quite well, and this one just. He wasn't given enough to do. He wasn't given enough purpose. And, he woke up and it wasn't even so much revenge he was looking for. Even that would have been better.
Yeah. Of course, they would have had to change the title to Legend of the Sea Devil. Remember, it was plural. You have to have more. You have to have more.
Okay.
But then
I see your point.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and plus, I mean, hey, let's remember that Chibnall's first special, he had one lone Dalek, and Gabe said Dalek an upgrade. So it's been done.
Yes, it's true. And I have to say that bringing up Planet of the Dead and bringing up those multiple specials that we had with David Tennant, that I think each one of them, stood on their own. They were great in moving the story along. So you could have a year of specials.
Yeah.
And you could do it really well.
Yep.
But I think that for the good bits that I've liked from what I've seen this season, it wasn't enough to bring it to that level. and we weren't having the amount of excellent writing that we've had before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be surprised by anything anymore. I miss, I wasn't the biggest fan of Matt Smith when he started, but I'm missing some of the episodes that were written for Matt Smith. It just, and we have Jodie, who's an excellent actress. I've seen her in multiple things, and I liked her in the beginning. I feel like she was like this entire episode, she was not given enough to do.
Yeah.
I got to say, like I said, we've done reviews since Asylum of the Dalek. I remember we gave Matt Smith a number of bad reviews. I wish we hadn't.
Because you don't know what's coming in the future.
You never know. In hindsight is 2020.
Also,
and I think so much
age differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Some of them have aged better than you would have thought at the time you first saw it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie that you've got some extremely good actors.
Yeah.
But you have some, I feel like overall this whole series of specials has lacked in writing. There are good bits, but then actually, if I think about it, going all the way back to the Flux, we are missing pages of the script.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah,
I think we did too. Yeah, and I'm amazed, and it just, what can we do? What's going to be next? What do you guys think is going to happen next? How are we going to close this chapter? And is it going to be good?
Here's the thing. I don't think it matters how we close it. I think, and I was going to save this for the end. Let's talk a little about the coming attractions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the Daleks. We have the Cybermen. The Cybermen from Ascension of the Daleks, because what's his name is there. What was his name?
Cybermen.
Right. We have the Master. We have Tegan and Ace. I mean, it looks from the coming attractions, we have a much better episode than the episode we had that it was a coming attractions after. That one looks amazing. In fact, I know a lot of people in reviews would rather talk about what's coming than what we just talked about. The episode looks amazing. However, will it work? What do you guys think?
See, here's the thing. I mean, first off, I'm gonna talk about this right off the bat. Just deal with this right off the bat. Seeing Ace and Tegan come back makes me jump for joy, because Ace is one of my favorite classic series companions. And then the other thing is, I've always wanted to see Tegan back, mainly because her departure from the TARDIS was not a very happy one. So I've always wondered what would happen if you brought her back.
Right.
So I love the fact that they're coming back. What I really, really hope is that they have a much better return than Captain Jack did. Because Captain Jack was just dropped in to be like, hey kids, look, it's that guy you really, really like. I brought in that guy you really, really like. But then it didn't do anything as far as connecting to the story at large.
Right.
The larger story.
Even though they didn't show him, do you think he's going to bring Captain Jack back for this episode to continue his story that Jimbo came up with him?
I probably not.
No,
I would say probably not.
I wish you would.
Only because, first off, real life does have a thing in it. John Barrowman has been kind of, taken to task over some behaviors.
Well, but he did the episodes he did for Chibnall after
going to task. Also, from what I hear, he might be very busy, on stage, so he may be unavailable. But honestly, I just hope, talking about the people we know, hopefully Tegan and Ace's appearances here make more sense than simply just, hey kids, look, it's these cool people from way before. See, look, I brought in the cool people from way before.
They better not be. They better not be cameos. They better be part of the plot.
It does seem like it's more than just cameos. But yeah, honestly, but hopefully they better be. And as far as being part of the plot, that when you say part of the plot, we really mean part of the plot.
Yes.
Like in other words, like the the Cybermen have infiltrated Dorothy's a charitable endeavor.
Yeah.
And Tegan was working with her already, and so the two of them just team up. It's like find a way to get them involved other than just okay, so this is going on here, and hey, look, it's the spunky lady who had the baseball bat and the blow up stuff. It's like the kaboom kaboomies. It's like that.
You know what I just remembered? That Tegan has seen the Doctor regenerate, so she might be able to take the new Doctor better than Ace, who never saw him regenerate.
Or Yaz, who doesn't know anything about this regeneration stuff either.
It's
they
funny.
really need a video.
No.
I think on as a companion.
You need that welcome video. It's like, and at some point, the Doctor may receive fatal injuries, so the Doctor is going to start glowing. Don't worry about that. The Doctor's not going to explode. The Doctor will just regenerate.
But don't stand too close.
Yeah, don't stand too close. Yeah, don't stand too close.
Me and Ed have different opinions about this next time thing. Because I also wanted an Ace comeback-ish, right? I didn't want it from this guy. It says because it's one of those giant question marks in all of Who. We don't have a lot of question marks left, right? How did Ace really leave the TARDIS, right? And it's like a time bomb. You do not want to touch that because you are messing with stuff that you cannot control, right? You are going to open wounds and stuff that people are going to jump out of nowhere saying that should not be it because of X, Y, Z.
Right. You're saying that Chibnall could ruin that part of the story?
That and also
the background.
it's not the fact it's just Ace, it's Ace and Tegan. For some reason he has to go and close these two specific holes that don't need closing. Tegan's exit, in my opinion, is the best exit in all of Who because it's real. Resurrection of the Daleks is, if I'm not wrong, by far the most deadly Doctor Who episode out there. Within the first minute, someone's dead.
Oh, there were a lot of deaths in there. That was a very violent story.
There's 10 plus deaths within the first episode. So when the episode finally closes, everyone's dead on the floor, the Daleks and humans included, and people just I can't take this no more. I'm out of here.
Yep.
That's real.
Wait a minute. Tegan handled Earthshock and Adric. Why can't she handle? She handled a lot. I thought that her leaving at the end of the Dalek story was a cop out. She needed to. The actress wanted to leave. Janet Fielding, and they just wrote her out like that. I think it was a cop out.
Here's the thing. You know what? Actually, no.
Up until that point, no companion has suffered more than Tegan because she had to deal with Tamara, Adric's death, and that.
Okay. It's not fun anymore.
Okay, Zion. You actually, See, I'm with you on that, which is that, Tegan had to deal. Here's the thing. It's it's one thing where you just, you pretty much have just joined the, the TARDIS crew, and you see somebody, die. And, with the added thing of, even though you're on a time machine, that the person who pilots said time machine says, unfortunately, the way that they died means that we can't use the time machine to undo it.
Right.
That's bad enough. And she weathered it. Okay, she weathered it. All right. But here's the thing, you can't just expect her that now that she's seen that happen once that, oh, okay, you're good now, right? There will come a point where it's after so long, and especially because this is how many deaths in one big sitting, that anybody could finally just be like, you know what? I saw somebody that I was beginning to become friends with die. Now I've seen all these people die. I'm done.
But before Zion answer, the interesting part about that, so Tegan goes, it's not fun anymore, and she goes away, right? At the very end, she changes her mind and goes back to the TARDIS, but the TARDIS dematerializes. So she actually didn't want to leave at the very end even though she had said she wanted to leave. She changed her mind.
No, she said,
she said, this is not fun anymore. She walks away. She walks back, and that's when the TARDIS dematerializes.
And says, I will miss you.
Yeah, but I think she wanted this. I think she changed her mind, in my opinion.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
it's opinion.
That's another. Well, that's another. That's like another one where it's like, she could have, and who knows, she could have changed her mind again. See, something that I always thought was that if it was me, writing the Return of Tegan,
right,
that one of the things I do is that, what is it, because here's the thing, because we have, I said this in one of our earliest episodes, that we always have companions who are like, oh, I get to travel with the Doctor again. Oh, I get to, I get to team up with the Doctor again. But what about, Tegan would be an interesting example. What about a companion that, kind of doesn't want to do this anymore?
Exactly. See,
that's what happens. Like, what happens if, like, here's the thing. I mean, imagine, Tegan hears the TARDIS and it's triggering her PTSD.
Right.
Yes.
Because she's not thinking, oh, I get to travel time and space again. She's thinking,
death is
God,
here.
Oh God, death is like, what's going to happen now? What is going to happen now? Is it the Daleks again? Is it the Cybermen? What monster is out there?
But after traveling with the Doctor and doing all the things you do, and you leave the Doctor, how can you live a normal life? How can you go back to normal human things?
Well, see, Mark, you're actually, believe it or not, you and I are not contradicting each other.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing that can play into it.
Yeah.
Which is, after, how do you go back to a normal life? Imagine that you're trying here. Mm-hmm. You are really trying. You really do want to go back to a normal life. But, every time there's a thunderstorm, every time maybe this spring has been hotter,
right?
Than spring has been hotter than it has been for quite a while. See, you and I would brush it off. It's like, oh damn, it's just really hot. But if you've traveled with the Doctor, do you brush it off, or do you go, is this normal, or is somebody messing with the Earth's weather? Oh no, is somebody trying? Are the Silurians trying to drown us?
I think that's what we learned from Sarah Jane. Even when the Sarah Jane Chronicles were fabulous. In what would I do if I was a companion and then I decided that I'd had enough traveling around with the Doctor, but I wasn't done being a adrenaline junkie. Well, I would do what Sarah Jane did. I'd go around and I'd behind the scenes be helping out the Doctor and unit and everything else, and have my own little Scooby gang.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing, because I mean, we have the example of Sarah Jane, but imagine if it's somebody who's not an adrenaline junkie, but rather just terrified because it's like, what else, what is out there? What is now, what horrible thing is, is this, what is, now about the things that are hiding in the dark.
Yeah.
So now you're constantly looking at shadows.
It is funny that Vicky brings up that point, because I haven't got to this point in the Doctor Who books, but I'm almost certain that Ace like also has like that point where like she leaves the Doctor, but still is not done with that type of life because Ace is just Ace.
Yep.
And like that goes back to like where we are right now. Like I'm scared of that because I know that Ace is still that way, but like Seven is the way Seven is. Seven has pissed off Ace many times. Like if Ace had $1 for every time Seven pissed her off, she'd be a very rich woman. And like I'm just worried how you can say I left the Doctor because of this, because there's like very few companions that would have never left the Doctor. And I think Ace is one of those simply because of her sheer capability to take to things and also to just how she is. Like you could tell just off character, she'd never leave. Simply because she kind of feels like she has nothing else. But like, yeah, like it's just like one of those can of worms that's just gonna spill out open and you say, this was good or was this bad? Yeah.
Well, and and also because here's the thing with Ace, you could probably do with Ace what was also done with Clara, but probably to a better
lower scale,
a lower scale, or at least a much more obvious kind of a much more obvious type of thing, where like it's now that you've had that taste and you kind of need to like imagine an Ace without the Doctor telling her about that Nitro 9 she's not supposed to carry, Ace now being the one to make her own to make like her own decisions, her own idea, her own way of dealing with things.
I have a question for everyone here.
Okay.
So now we're at the end, right, with this whole thing.
Yeah.
And we have the timeless child dropped on us. So how am I supposed to care about the Doctor regenerating when she's a timeless child?
Yeah.
You know what? That is, that's the thing. And that's the thing, because I know that in the previews, we have the Master indicating that
this is the end of your life.
Yeah, this is the end.
If
this
you remember,
we've heard that before, and it was just a regeneration.
Yeah, hold on. If you remember from the last episode of Flux, it was that entity that said you're going to die, and I think it was meant that you're not going to regenerate anymore. This is it. You're going to die. Period. And that's why the Master in the preview says this is the day you die, because according to what she's been told, she's not going to regenerate again. And that may be why she didn't get together with Yaz.
But then we have the scene where she's clearly regenerating.
Yeah, well,
is there?
I heard somebody actually came up with an interesting theory. I forgot where I saw this. I know I saw this somewhere on social media. Is that her regenerating, or is that something to do with the fob watch?
Ooh.
Because they were saying that the kind of the energy field looked a lot like when the fugitive Doctor opened her fob watch.
Uh-huh. Oh.
When Ruth opened the fob watch. So it could be something to do with the fob watch. But the thing with the whole, she's got a prophecy that she's gonna die, that jazz, is that we've been down this road before.
Yeah,
not too long ago.
Exactly. We had it with Matt Smith Matt Smith's final. We had an entire season of Matt Smith where he's trying to dodge doing a picnic by the lake.
Yeah.
David Tennant's the end of David Tennant's era.
The specials,
yeah.
With those specials, he was trying to avoid fate.
Which were real specials.
Which were actually real specials.
Those absolutely were, yes.
But here's the thing: the end of David Tennant's era, he was also trying to dodge a fate. The whole he will knock 5 times.
So we've done 4 times. So yeah, we've done this. We've done this a lot.
There are 4 knocks.
There are 4 lights.
But yeah, it's it's like we've been down this road before.
Mm-hmm.
it's, and then the whole thing with the thing with the timeless child, that does take away some of the worry.
Yeah.
What would be interesting, and I also thought about this when Matt Smith regenerated into Capaldi. He supposedly got like a fresh set of regeneration.
Yes.
And I remember that Rassilon did tell Capaldi, he's like, how many did we give you? Meaning he doesn't know. So, I mean, if you had introduced the idea that, the doctor doesn't, that like the doctor doesn't know how many regenerations they do have.
Right.
Okay. See, now
That's possible.
now you have something. See, again, here, now we have something, because if the idea is that the doctor doesn't know, like the doctor knew that she got a fresh set of regenerations.
Right.
But if it's one of those things where it's simply just giving out doling out the regeneration energy like Halloween candy, it's like, okay, if it's one of those things where you can regenerate, you know for a fact that you can do it,
right?
But the exact amount, the exact number is unknown, then there you have something, because it's like, okay, did I just get one? Did I get 2? Did I get 12? Did I get 15? Did I get 5? So it's like, so now it's like, okay, I know I can regenerate, but I don't know how many times. So it's kind of one of these things where you can't.
So there might still be some mystery. There might still be
right, and it also
something
gives
that the doctor doesn't know.
Yeah, and it's something also where it's like it informs the doctor on how they proceed, because it's like nobody knows if the doctor's hit the limit again.
Now, you do know that all this, what we're talking about, can be moot, because Chris Chibnall recently has been quoted saying that he expects RTD to ignore everything.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So none of this may matter.
You know what? I hope, honestly, it's one of those things where I hope if RTD just doesn't, okay, well, first of all, if we are going to do stuff with the time, first of all, I really hope that before he leaves, before he puts all the toys back in the box for RTD, that Chibnall closes the book on the stuff he started, instead of just leaving it for somebody else.
Do you really think he's going to do that? He's kind of left us wanting more.
Probably not, but I hope he does. The other, wrap up the Timeless Child arc, at least to be like, okay, she opens the fob watch, she knows about her previous lives. The other thing I would say is that I really hope that, what I'm hoping is that, so RTD doesn't have to, he doesn't have to use the Timeless Child stuff. Like, he can use it, for example, we do have the 60th coming up.
Right.
So he can use it in the sense that he can have, if we can't, if he wants to have a bunch of doctors, he can take from that well, and have the Ruth Doctor, and maybe even introduce a new incarnation.
Speaking of the Ruth Doctor,
a new, but let me get to what I was saying.
Okay.
But what I hope doesn't happen is that RTD comes in and the whole Timeless Child thing, like, you have this sort of retconning out. Because the thing is that for better or for worse, and I think better, when the Ruth Doctor was introduced, the fugitive doctor, introducing, it's like, that's the same thing like when Jodie came in, having a female doctor, opening up so that more of the audience could say, yes, I can be the doctor. Do you really want to take that and say it's a lie? Do you really want to say, do you really want to say that's a lie? And it's like, oh, tricked you. Like, when I was thinking about this thought, when I was on this tangent thinking about it in prep for this episode, what I thought of was, remember recently, a few years ago, when Marvel did their event Secret Empire.
Yeah.
And the lead into it was, Captain America was an agent of Hydra all along. Mm-hmm. He was never the Sentinel of Liberty. He was always a spy. Right. Remember how PO'd people got. Yes. Remember how angry people got.
Uh-huh.
And then they had to, Marvel did a little sleight of hand and said, it was a cosmic cube. It was something having to do with the cosmic cube. He's always been the Sentinel of Liberty. It's okay. Relax. Well, do we really want to go through something like that, where it's do we really want to pull? Thing. Yeah,
they knew they screwed up and said, "Well, we got to double back now." And I think that's where Chibnall is. He realized that I kind of went a bit too far in a bit from too much places, and sees to double back. So that's why he's verbally announcing it, which is crazy. I can't believe that he's actually doing that.
I'd like to say, though, that no matter if RTD decides to throw this away, it really won't be thrown away, because I don't know if you read, but Big Finish is doing box sets of the Fugitive Doctor and the Sasha, the Master from the Chibnall era. Good. So, I mean, they're going to be part of the Big Finish universe. And then the comic book, I think Free Comic Book Day, the Fugitive Doctor is going to be in the story.
Yeah, so I think she's even getting a
miniseries. That's why they're putting her. Yeah. So I mean, it's not like they're throwing it all away. There are the outside stories, and yes, it's not canon, but the outside stories they still exist.
Yeah, but also, Mark, remember, you and I are in a unique, well, all of us. We also, because here's the thing, and I'm going to bring another franchise into this. Remember DC, DC Comics.
Yeah.
Whenever they do one of their Universal reboot things, they do a crisis thing and they reboot the universe. And then, of course, there's always the argument of, well, the stories still exist. But, that still doesn't change the fact that it's like, well, the universe got rebooted, the universe. Yeah, well, the universe got rebooted, and still, it's like, as far as the current universe that we're supposed to accept, this story did not exist.
Well, from what I read recently, From what I read recently, Doctor Who's universe is actually a multiverse, so this could have taken place in one of the other universes.
Yeah, but that's well, the thing is that is that's one of those things that's really hard to pull off.
Right.
And it can also feel like, I don't want to say a cheat.
You're copying Marvel, it feels at that point.
Yes.
Yeah, but basically, if you start to do like a cheat where it's like, oh, it's a multiverse, it can still feel like basically you're just saying that you're just trying to do.
I love a good alternate universe story, but after a few decades, I'm now kind of feeling like, does everyone have to have an alternate universe? Really?
Yeah,
really?
Exactly. And then also,
I know we have one in Doctor Who already, but still, it's like, are we going to just take this whole past few years and just kind of shove it over there?
Well, I mean,
I'd really rather we didn't.
If Russell is going to erase everything, you might as well have it happen in another universe, and RTD is going.
But still, I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't have to revisit everything that's discussed over the last couple of years. But I would like it if he just didn't ignore it. That it just, come on, we've had some ups and downs in Doctor Who over the last almost 60 years now.
Yeah.
And we've never, well, I don't know. I can't think of any time that we've erased an entire Doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of erased Dr. 8. 8? Yes.
Yeah, 8 probably can. Yeah.
Well, I had to think about that.
Yeah.
Actually,
the doctor that got erased was the original 9th Doctor.
Yeah,
the streamer Shaka doctor.
Oh, right.
Richard E. Grant.
Yeah, he got erased.
It's interesting that Richard E. Grant got erased when Paul McGann had a short one, because With Nail and I, they were both in With Nail and I, and then But no, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
it's we can't just throw something and be like alternate universe, and then be like, see, it's okay, kids, it's okay because it exists in its own little universe. It's like even that explanation can be a little like, I know of Star Trek fans who the prime time, it's like, oh well, there's a prime timeline and that's all the stuff you know and love, and then there's the Kelvin timeline and that's Abrams stuff, and
but it's also
even
canon
then
somehow,
and so it's like, well, because because it has its own universe, and it's like,
I see what you're
even
saying.
Even then it's like that kind of feels unsatisfactory, because even some people, it's like, well, no, I just they don't want to accept the whole thing of like, oh well, no, it's we know it's in its own little thing, but that still doesn't kind of excuse it.
No,
it just kind of sucks that this all falls on Jodie, because I know, like, eventually, like, if this ends up somehow being in a doomsday scenario, RTD falls flat on his face, and this is the Wilderness Years too. This is all going to come back like how it came back on Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy, saying those were the reasons why the show fell, and not because of the writing.
John Nathan Turner is the reason the show fell.
Yeah.
Yes. I hope it's not going to happen to Jodie.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I will say this, that Jodie does have something that Colin didn't, which is the fact that another Jodie Hauser, has been writing the Doctor Who comics. She's been writing the 13th Doctor. And so at the very least, we have something. It's not like with what we had with Colin Baker, where we had to wait until Big Finish and the novels to flesh out the character and be like, oh, this is what we should have gotten. We have comics that are being published contemporary that we can look at and go, okay, maybe more like this.
Yeah, but how much people that are watching the show, as little as it is compared, saying from last ratings, how much of them are actually going to go out and buy the comics? That's the problem.
Well, see, okay, no, you're right. You're right. But at the very least, we know that it's there, and we can try and steer. People can be steered towards the comics and be like, hey, I know you didn't like Doctor Who. Why don't you check out the comic? Because it's a lot, it's a lot better. It feels a lot, you could at least point them in that direction.
Yeah.
Especially if you have the conversation and they talk about how, oh, I didn't like this, I wasn't particularly a fan of this. So at least the conversation is available.
Well, maybe. Could be. I don't know. I think we're in a weird impasse, aren't we?
Yeah, it's, what? I think that's the right word for it. It's a weird kind of impasse.
And it'll be interesting to see. I don't know. I'm both excited and a little trepidatious, because I have watched this show go up, down, left, right, inside, outside.
Are you trying to do the cha-cha slide, Vicky?
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm doing, honey. That's what I'm doing.
The cha-cha slide. Yeah.
But the reality is that whatever happens next, it won't be until time passes, because I think Jodie's time as a Doctor will not be looked back as horrible. There will be bits and pieces, but just like with the other previous Doctors, they only have so much control. Well, okay, let's be honest. The actors playing the Doctor have zero control on so much of this, that I don't think we're going to look back and say everything was bad. And I think it's still a to be seen. We need to wait for the hindsight part to begin. I think that this closing season will never probably recover. It will always be viewed as could have been.
what I'm scared is going to happen is that we get to RTD and he does his job, and then we look back saying this should have been 13 right here.
Oh, there's a good chance we're going to get that, and it will make me sad. But there's been a lot of people who've played the Doctor that at the time I was watching it live wasn't terribly thrilled, but going back and watching them, it's like, why didn't I like this one? Huh?
Yeah.
I've actually found the what do we call it, legacy series. There are many of them that I didn't like when I was a kid that I like as an adult better, or maybe I get all the humor now. When Dr. 14 starts, are we going to feel like 13 was a waste, or this should have been the 13th Doctor, this should have been what we expected, this is the way it should have gone. And I do think that there will be several things from the Jodie years that won't be viewed well, even in hindsight, flat out just won't. But like I said, the actors have no control over this. I mean, even when you've got someone like David Tennant, who of course was wildly popular, even he did not have creative control. That is in the hands of the producers and the station and all the other fun people with money who don't always know what's good. So, but that said, I'm still looking forward to this next, do I want to call it an episode special, something? I'll be interested to see kind of how this shakes out. How does this all end? And how does the new step begin? How do you begin over from, this is going to be a weird transition. Don't you think?
Are we supposed to get the announcement soon? Because don't we know who it is before we actually see the face? Usually,
although somebody did say on Twitter, and I have to agree with them, that it would be kind of cool to maybe it would be interesting in this case if they didn't announce it and we get surprised at the end of the next special, where it's just like, where it's, where all of a sudden it's like, Jodie regenerates and holy cow, it's Daniel Radcliffe, or, holy cow, it's this person. Then truly get kind of a, wow, whoa, wait a minute.
But, one, that would be awesome. Two, it'd be insanely hard because people love to leak things.
Yeah. But, we have had, heck, we have had instances where stuff like, think about it this way. We didn't know for sure until it actually happened that, in Spider-Man No Way Home, that we were getting the previous Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We were surprised, when Avengers Endgame was coming out, they edited, there was some clever editing to take characters out of certain shots, like the scene where Captain Marvel brings back the Guardian ship with Tony inside. We didn't see that Pepper Potts was one of the people waiting on it. It's there are ways that can do it. If there are ways it can be done. It's tricky. It can be done, but it would be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool if they were able to hide.
It is so hard to hide things like that nowadays. Yeah. I mean, I think about so many huge movies in the 70s and 80s where they try to keep things under wraps. I'm thinking about the Star Wars sequels, and they'd have different names. Everyone were wearing shirts with the fake name of the movies.
Blue Harvest. Yep.
Blue Harvest. I remember that.
Harvest. Yep.
but everyone's now got a camera in their phone and the internet and social media.
Yeah.
And it is so much harder. It's interesting where, like the Spider-Man movies, they were able to keep it really under wraps and keep it in the rumor mill until probably a couple weeks before the movie hit the theaters.
Yeah. And even
because
then, it was,
you just can't. It was still speculative at that point.
Right. It was all speculative. Like, somebody would look at a scene in the trailer and be like, you know what? The other Spider-Men are probably in here. And it's like, okay. And it's like, they're basing this off of, well, if you look here, it might be that they edited them out. And it kind of looks like there should be more people there, So it's like.
And there's always those fans, and I call some of them, they're flat out not fans. They think they're fans, but
fans.
It's like their job is to spoil. I mean, there's definitely a few things on YouTube and social media that I have seen over the last few years where I feel like there are these people who make it their mission in life to find things out before studios want you to. Yeah. And, no, I guess some people like that, but I think that just does a disservice to the viewers. Let us be surprised. I love a good surprise, and I do say good surprise. I want to be surprised from time to time. I want to have something new. And I'll be honest, as much as I want to, like everyone else wants to know who the next Doctor is going to be, I would love it if we didn't know and the show was going and everyone in my living room is going, oh my God, all at the same time.
Yep.
Come on. That would be so much fun. And why not have that one moment? But I don't know if that's even possible in this day and age with everything. And as long as there are people out there who deeply desire to spoil things for everybody else, I don't know if you're ever going to be able to keep something like that a secret. That's too big of a thing.
Although somebody did say, I think it was, it was my brother-in-law. It was my brother-in-law, Billy, who said what would be kind of a cool thing to do is contact all these actors, find the fanboy wish list for Doctor, for the next, for a Doctor. Have them film regeneration scenes. So it's like, and make sure that they're seen on set so that, it then becomes this whole thing of,
so
holy
nobody
cow,
knows who the real
nobody knows who the right.
Show.
Yeah, exactly.
And the one person that actually was selected is, by the way, you're actually going to come back again.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple of fake outs would be fun.
Yeah.
I actually was picturing that before you even said that, where it was like, first you see this person's face, then you see that person's face, then you see,
or, even the other, or the other thing could be, one of the things I always thought is that do like a thing where maybe if you want to explore the idea of regeneration and how much does the Doctor have left, have a thing where the Doctor just goes through multiple regenerations in a single episode, or like in a single episode where like, the Doctor, maybe here it starts off with the Doctor regenerating from, regenerates from Jodie into Hugh Grant. But then in the middle of the episode, the Doctor gets, the Doctor regenerates again. And it goes from Hugh Grant to Rupert Grint from Harry Potter. And then from Rupert, then goes from Rupert Grint to Helen Mirren. And then from Helen Mirren.
Oh, hell yeah.
Then from Helen Mirren to Rowan Atkinson again. And then, it's like, just do all this until finally you get who's meant to be like the real next Doctor. And just be like, at the very end. And they just go, and the Doctor just looks at the companion or the camera and is like, okay, I think we're done now. Or something like that, but come up with ideas on how to keep it fresh, how to like get it so that the audience, so that you can avoid the internet peoples who are all like, I'm gonna set up a camera across the street from this BBC facility so I can see who the next Doctor is.
Well, I think we're going to have some fake outs because it's the only way it's going to work, whether the fake outs are shown on screen or just filmed, because there's, but they're probably going to announce it.
Yeah.
Because they're probably not wanting to take a chance. But it would be nice if they could announce it soonish. I'm just saying. Because the speculation is starting to get annoying.
Yeah.
Between the new James Bond and the new Doctor Who, it's like, good Lord. And it's funny when the lists intersect, It's like, well, they could be either. Oh, okay, I can see that. They could be both. No, let's not do that. That'll make James Bond really interesting. Hold it. Is this a Doctor Who episode or is it a James Bond movie? What am I watching? I forgot. What I paid the ticket for. Okay. Clearly the caffeine's hit. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no. I'm having a great time with this. You kidding me?
Well, once you start down any rabbit hole of what if, it goes left, right, in circles and squares.
Once you start down the rabbit hole path, forever will it control your destiny.
Okay. Guys, I think we're going to end the show here. Do we have any final? This has been a great conversation. I love it. I was just sitting back listening. I wasn't even talking. I was just enjoying this whole ending. Any final words, Zion?
Do not screw up Ace's return. Because I will come at you.
They don't. I hope the Ace return works. I hope the Tegan return works. I'm even though, Legend of the Sea Devils I was disappointed with, I have hope for the centenary episode. Vicky?
Hope is good. Let's hope that we smile at the end of that episode.
Yeah, because we're going to review it, folks, and we want to give you a positive review.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to say A or A. Ed.
Yeah, no, I hope that the Chibnall era does end on a high note because it needs to end on a high note. Definitely. So, I mean, it just that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it ends on a high note, and I'm hoping that RTD part 2 begins on a high note as well.
R2D2. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Nice. No, I love it.
That was good.
I love it. I love it.
Let's say goodbye to all of you out there listening to the Mark Who 42's Universe podcast. We're glad you listened to us. Until next time, catch us on Geekcast Radio Network, on Florida Geek Scene, all around the interweb thingy, including markwho42.com. Please go to iTunes and give us 5 stars and a rating. I love saying give us 5 stars because we want them. And if you want to reach us, markwho42s.universe@gmail.com. This is Mark Baumgarten on behalf of myself, Eduardo M. Freyre, Vicky Jakubowski, and Zion Quiros. See you next time. Listen to us next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
And MarkWho 42.
Oh my God. And I left that in. Oh well. Thanks for listening to Mark Who 42's Universe with hosts Mark Baumgarten, Eduardo M. Freyre, Zion Quiros, and Vicky Jakubowski. This program was produced and directed by Mark Baumgarten. If you'd like to get in touch with us, please go to our Facebook page or email us at markwho42s.universe@gmail.com. You can listen to old shows at our website, markwho42.com, or even our YouTube page, markwho42. Mark Who 42's Universe, copyright 2022.